I wonder, is this going to be a long video or a short video? Time will tell. Odds are it's going to be a long one. Greetings, love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. I'm Dr. Akilah, and I have a question for you. Are you married to your disease? And when was the last time you thought about getting a divorce? Now, when I upload this video, I will be in Germany. Right now, I'm in the United States, actually. I'm going to do my best to record 2 to 3 videos before I leave, because when I get in Germany, I don't have the time, nor do I have the energy to set up my recording studio in my home in Germany like I do here in Atlanta. So I'm going to do my best to record as many videos as I can, and then when I get to Georgia, I'll edit them and then upload them here to YouTube. So the reason I'm saying all of that is because yesterday I had a out call visit, and I normally don't do that. I charge a lot of money for out call visits. However, I spoil my loyal clients who have been with me for years. I have clients who have been with me since 1998 as well as 2004. And I reward them by providing them services I normally wouldn't provide new clients. And one of my clients, who has been with me since 2001, she, basically begged me to come to an elderly community estate where I don't know what you would call this type of facility, but it's an apartment complex in downtown Atlanta, and it's only geared to the elderly. It's not hospice. Trust me, I know a hospice when I see one. I've been in several. But it's where they have registered nurses. They also have doctors. They have individuals to look after the ill. But these elderly individuals can still function. They still, they don't need hospital care. However, it's in a community where just in case something happens, like they fall down or they get confused or they have some kind of reaction to their medication, they have trained medical professionals there living or working on the premises to look after them, and they give them all kind of activities. Well, my client, who's been my loyal client since 2001, she came to see me about infertility problems, and thanks to my program, she has 3 children. Not me, but she wanted 3 children. She got what she wanted, and I helped her achieve that goal. So her mom is having some extreme health problems, and she wanted me to come out there and basically consult with her. Now listen, beloved, if you all haven't seen the video, Touching Myself and Need Your Help, I want you to go watch that video and listen to how I came to the quick conclusion that there was no way I could help my aunt, who is like my mother. I love my aunt. She made her transition already. She made her transition when I made that video. I think it was like, 3 or 4 months after I made the video. But when she was alive, I came to a conclusion that, and it didn't take me long, it was like a couple of days, and I realized she's going to make her transition. That holistic medicine, holistic therapy, telling her what to eat, none of that's going to help her. And when you are at that age, you're not going to change. I said this before and I'll say it again. Most people rather die than change their diet. And that was the case with my aunt, and along with some other contributing factors on how she made her transition. But all of that was her choice. And when you live this life every day, this is who you are. This is who I am, okay? I live this, I eat this way, I act, I think this way, I think on an esoteric level, I behave that way, I keep a healthy environment, I keep healthy people around me, I don't have anything toxic in my environment, in my space, in my life. And if I do find something or someone toxic, I will get rid of them immediately. I don't care if I hurt their feelings, okay? My health comes first, all right? And you have to have a certain type of, I don't know if it's a mentality or guts to really live this life, because being sick and being weak and having a victim mind is rewarded by society. As a matter of fact, it is encouraged by society and the masses to be the blamer instead of taking responsibilities for your own situation and your own health. It is rewarded to be sick or sickly. A lot of people like to wear their disease on their shoulders as a part of their identity. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they don't even have something unique about them, a unique characteristic about them without this disease. One of the famous, I'm not going to go into the story because it's too long, but I didn't recognize this until one of the famous client of mine many years ago. I got rid of her though, because she was just, that whole victim mindedness. I can't deal with that because I'm not that way. But I remember when she came to me back in 2004 or 2005 for polycystic ovarian cyst. Okay, she was part of a polycystic ovarian cyst support group, which I think is stupid. I am anti-support groups, by the way. I'll do a video on why I'm that way, why I feel that way, and why support groups are detrimental instead of helpful. She held a official position as treasurer of the polycystic ovarian cyst community or sisterhood or whatever for Atlanta. She had the t-shirt, she had the key ring, she even had the tote bag, honey. This was who she was. And everybody she met, she always told them that she was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome and these are her symptoms. How many of us know people who will volunteer information like that and you didn't even ask them? They want to volunteer that they bipolar. They want to volunteer to the fact that they hypoglycemic. They want to volunteer the fact that they are they got a thyroid issue. I mean, unless somebody asks you, and if you got to volunteer and tell someone that, something's going on with your pride, your esteem. Your self-esteem is a little low where you have to justify who you are by your dis-ease or diseases or your condition. Anyway, so the thing about it, this woman is like, she never saw herself without polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I could be saying this incorrectly, folks. Please excuse me if I'm saying polycystic ovarian cyst or polycystic ovarian syndrome. I think it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. And when I asked her, I said, what would your life be without polycystic ovarian syndrome? And do you know what? Blank stare. Like, she never considered that. Folks, my question to you, how many of you considered a life without your disease? How many of you have considered your life without your condition? How many of you can think of living a life without pain, without suffering? Why do you all think that we have to be here on this earth to suffer? I digress. So when she could not think of her life without polycystic ovarian syndrome, this is all that she came up, this is all who she is. I said, I can't have you as a client. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about success stories, not victims. And you like to use the polycystic ovarian syndrome for why you are living the life you're living right now. I don't do that. I don't play that game. So you're going to have to go to somebody who's going to co-sign that, because I'm not doing it. And so when it comes to our elders, especially, I can't even get somebody in their early 30s to change their diet. What makes you think I'm going to get somebody in their 80s to do that? Especially when they live in a community. All right. Now, this is a high rise. This is a high rise apartment complex. I think it had at least I think that apartment complex had at least 17 floors. And they have this big facility downstairs where they do plays, where they have little dances, where they do bingo. Oh boy, they love them bingo. They love that bingo. Nothing wrong with it, but it's like the bingo room was packed. So, if an elder person for some kind of miracle decided that they wanted to eat a plant-based diet, that they wanted to start exercising, that they wanted to slowly get their bodies back to a healthy state and wean themselves off of their medication, do you think they are going to be able to successfully do that in that kind of community where everybody else around there is eating cake and barbecue chicken wings and French fries and candy? Candy was everywhere. And candy is such a poison to the elderly, yet and still. And don't get me wrong, my auntie, the reason why oh, I miss her. The reason why I enjoyed coming to visit her, it was a nostalgia of eating that pound cake because she made the best pound cake ever. It was always some sweets in her house. I have never came to my auntie's house or my grandmama's home, all right? Never, or my great aunts. My great aunt lived until she was 96 years old. She had a lot of health problems, but she still lived that long. I never came to even when I visit elders, from my clients paying me to come visit, it's always some kind of sweets. It's always some kind of sweet in the house. And it's usually always that soft sweets like cake. I have never come, or pastries or cupcakes or donuts or something like that. I have never come into a visit an elderly home and there was not a bundt cake or some kind of cake or pastry on the table. And they're quick to offer it to you. So anyway, I told my client, I said, you really don't want to waste your money on this. I'm telling you, I know you love your mom. Okay, I love my aunt. Oh, I don't want to hit my mic. I love my aunt, but sometimes you have to let it go. You have to let them live their life. You have to surrender. And that's one of the key words I want you all to take from that video on touching myself and need your help, is that the key word I said is I surrender. I surrendered the control to keep my aunt here when maybe it wasn't her destiny to stay here, but it was a selfish thing for me to want her to stay here because I wanted her to stay here for me. You know, I loved her a lot and I didn't want her to go, but I had to surrender and just let the process take its place. Whatever's going to happen, let it happen. Should not interfere with it, and you all shouldn't either. You have to understand that just because you have embraced the holistic life, you have embraced a wonderful way of eating, you cannot force your loved ones to do it either. All right? You can't. And don't bully them and don't pester them to take herbs, to eat fruits and vegetables, to drink water. Hey, unlike that last video, got my water, baby. I think it's unfair. You can't make them do something they don't want to do, even if it's in their best interest. You have to let them live their life because it's their life, not your life. And I gave this spiel to my client. She says, I still want to try, and then we'll go with that try again. I said, so you wanted to pay me all this money to come visit your mother, knowing that it's not going to work? And she said, well, at least my conscience is clear. But then my question to her, as well as to you all, is why would you have a conscience about, why would you feel guilty or have a conscience of, giving your elderly parents or loved ones volunteer information? They didn't ask you. Her mom didn't say, oh, baby, I'm ready to go get me some good herbs. I'm ready to get off this medication. I'm ready to eat right. Get that Dr. Akilah to come on over here. Her mother never said any of this. Her mother never asked her to do this. This is all my client's idea. She the one that did all of this, okay? So, true to form, all right, I went to go see this beautiful, oh, she was so adorable. She was cute and tiny. And you can't help but fall in love with her. She's one of those elderly women that you're like, oh, you're so cute. I want to just take you home. And I can see how, anyone can fall in love with this wonderful woman. She does have some bad health problems. And when I went to see her, and we're gonna call her Miss Sally Mae. Excuse me, getting some water. We don't call her Miss Sally Mae. Now listen to me, beloved. Listen to the story. All right? And I want you to see, do you see yourself in this in any kind of way? Now, there are going to be the 5%ers who are not going to be able to relate to this story because you're not going to think along the way Miss Sally Mae thinks. However, you're going to know someone who thinks this way, and then you got to ask yourself, will you allow them to keep thinking that way, or are you going to try to force them to live the way that you think is in their best interest? So when I go meet her, I introduce myself to her, and her husband, she lives in her little apartment alone because her husband died of a stroke about 5 or 6 years ago, I think she told me. And I said, Miss Sally Mae, I'm here to really do a consultation. So before we get started, let me look at all the medication you're on. She's like, okay, let me go get it, baby. So she go and walk into her room, and she comes out with this big Walmart bag of orange and white bottles. I said, Miss Sally Mae, are those old bottles, or are those like prescription? There's some prescription in there that you don't take anymore. She's like, oh no, I take all of this every day. You know what I'm saying? Then she takes the bag, the Walmart bag full of those bottles. And she said, you want me to tell them what they are? I know all of my medication. Now, since she lived alone, there was a registered nurse that's assigned to that floor. And she's also into holistic health as well. Unfortunately, she can't use her knowledge to help those residents in that community. But, she knows me. She knows who I am. So she's like, she asked if she could sit in on the consultation. I said, it's up to Miss Sally Mae, and her daughter. I said, if those two don't mind you being in here, then I don't mind, it's not my call. So, we'll call her Cynthia. So they say, oh yes, Cynthia. Cynthia is a registered nurse. She's assigned here. She helps all of us just in case we need her help or whatever. And she can stay here and learn from you, Dr. Akilah. So Miss Sally Mae gets into her bag, this big old plastic bag full of these bottles, and she starts to take them out one by one and tell me what type of medication it is and what it's for. So first thing she gets in there, she says, this is Norfasac. This for my high blood pressure. This is Avapro. This too are for my blood pressure. Divan. And see, this is for my blood pressure too, but it's also for the water. So it's a water pill and for my blood pressure. This is glucophage. This is for my sugar. I had sugar for over 30 years. So I get to do different medication, but now they got me on this one. And I used to get the insulin where you do the needle, but now that I got the thin blood, they done took me and put me on the pill. Word form, this is the blood thinner I talk about. This is right here is my blood thinner. Yeah, we're gonna put that right there. This is Lessicol. This is for my cholesterol. Doctor said I got high cholesterol. I tried to change my diet, but I just can't do it right now. This here is Zycor. This here is also for my cholesterol. What's this? Torden, I think. Cynthia, what they here for? Oh yeah. This is for my pain, cause Arthur be bothering me so much. Now, I haven't been around the elderly community in years. We're talking about a good over 10 years. So I'm a little behind the lingo that they use, that I used to know, especially when I go travel back and forth to 2 countries, I forget certain slang because I'm talking in 2 languages, German and English. So when I come back to America, like here, I forget some of the language. So when she said, because Arthur bothers her so much, I said, Arthur? What is this Arthur doing to you? And she said, oh girl, Arthur be hurting me oh so, especially when they go to Wayne. Oh, when it rain, oh, Arthur be cutting up something awful. Oh, he a mess. I'm thinking she's talking about a guy. So I look at Cynthia like, who the hell is this Arthur and why isn't he in jail? Everybody busts out laughing. The joke's on Dr. Akilah because she don't know who the hell Arthur is. And then once the laughter dies down, Miss Sally Mae say, honey baby, Arthur is arthritis. Oh yeah, he been in my life longer than my husband, God bless the dead. Yeah, Arthur be coming in. I don't know when he come, but he come every day. Ooh, and when it gonna rain, my knees. You see, my knees be ailing me. And then sure enough, I hear the thunder out there, or I hear the raindrops, and Arthur is so right. Those, when it start to come in, the rain comes in, it start hurting on my knees. And I tell everybody, ooh, you better get yourself an umbrella, because Arthur done told me it's gonna rain, girl. Mm-hmm. I said to her, shockingly, you have a personal relationship with arthritis who you have named Arthur? And she's like, and she told me that, you know, she has arthritis for many, many years, over 20 years. And that some of the pain, at least 6 of the bottles that she have in her Walmart bag is for arthritis, rheumatism arthritis. And so I thought about it because she had such a connection with this disease. You see what I'm saying? She didn't despise it. She jokingly and in a way, joyfully, would you say that's joyfully, Akilah? I would say she didn't feel some kind of way about it. Okay? It wasn't as if she was resentful about having arthritis. And it was kind of like a bragging thing that she can tell the weather, whether it's going to rain, by the pain she gets in her knees. So I asked her, like I ask anybody who starts to identify with it, especially if you're going to name your disease, how does she feel, or how would she feel, if Arthur was no longer in her life? And just like the polycystic ovarian syndrome chick, she was blank too. Never thought about it. Never gave it a thought. Never considered being arthritis free. Never thought it. Never fathomed this thought. And I hear people a lot identify with their diseases, and they either, in her case, she named her disease, but in other cases, people say, my high blood pressure, my cancer, my lupus, my fibroids. Beloved, I have had several diseases and illnesses come in and out of this body. Not once have I personalized them. Not once did I say my cancer. Not once did I say my fibroids. Not once did I say my eczema. Not once did I say my asthma. I would disconnect who I am from that. Because when you have disconnected yourself from your disease, you have no attachment to it, beloved. Therefore, it's easy to get rid of it. But when you have attachment to it, you have this kinship with it, and it's going to be hard to get rid of it. Here's the biggest thing. I never said my fat. Remember when I was overweight? I was 85 pounds overweight. Don't believe me? Go watch those videos, 2012. Even though I was 85 pounds overweight. Not once did I say, I'm going to get rid of my fat. No, I said, I'm going to eliminate this fat. I'm going to get rid of this stuff, this excess waste. It's not needed anymore. Mission accomplished. But all of my illnesses and diseases were given a separate title, as if you're not staying here long. I have no attachment to you, so you're going to get the hell out of here. And so I want you to listen to your words. Are you calling your illnesses my? And when you do, that's a union. That's a marriage. Divorce it. The first thing you need to do is separate yourself. Just like, listen, let's look at this now. I'm getting esoteric now. Get ready. Let's get ready. When your doctor bestow upon you the curse of a disease or illness or condition, and you accept it in your mind, you marry that disease and become unified with it. And therefore, when you get married to anything or anyone, you need to manage it. You need to make sure it's harmonious. And you do so with either surgery or medication or both. But when you don't have any intentions in marrying your disease, you do not even think about managing it. You think about killing it. You think about eliminating it. You think about banishing it. But because you didn't rebuke those words that was placed upon you by your medical doctor, you have unified with this illness, and now you must decide whether you're going to stay married to it or divorce it. And when you go through a divorce proceedings, the first thing you must do is separate. And when you have married your disease, you must separate yourself from the disease. And the first thing you do in separating your disease is stop saying it's yours. Stop saying my. It's not. It's not your cancer. It's a cancer. Say that cancer and this cancer is going away. If I wanted to throw away this shirt, if I don't like this shirt, I'm not going to identify it as my shirt. Do you understand the difference here? I love my shirt. This is my shirt. But if I don't want this shirt, I'm going to say, I'm going to get rid of this shirt. Doesn't it sound strange if I'm going to say, I'm going to get rid of my shirt? No, you're not. No, you're not. Because the fact that you said, I'm going to get rid of my shirt, you already have attached yourself to it. If you don't want it, call it a this, that, or an A. But don't identify it as yours, because you want to keep things that belong to you. And that includes diseases and conditions. So the first thing you do is separate it. While you're separated, that is when you start going through a healing process. I have never been married, have no intentions on doing a legal marriage. That's the thing. But I have watched many people, actually, as a matter of fact, I have watched hundreds and hundreds of people get married and divorce. So I kind of know the process. And I know that when they go through the separation, I think that's when the healing should begin, but it doesn't, because that's when all the court proceedings start happening and all the, this is mine, that's yours, and you need to pay me this amount of money every month. I mean, all kinds of evil feelings and actions start to surface during the divorce proceedings. But you separate yourself, you start the healing process, preparing yourself for the divorce. If the divorce gets nasty, so be it, because the end result is peace. And in this case, with your disease, the end result is going to be health. Be willing to fight for it. Be willing to get down and dirty to get your health back. How many of you are willing to do that? How many of you are willing to banish your family members in order to be healthy? Ooh, how many of you are ladies, because I don't see the men doing this too much. Ladies, how many of you are ready to get rid of your man in order to get your health back? Did I touch a nerve? Did y'all click me off? Did you thumbs down the video? You know what I'm saying? I said this in the Q&A, question and pearls video, is that we sometimes attach ourselves to toxic people. When you know you have a toxic partner, are you willing to divorce? And I'm not saying legally married. You could be in just you could just be shacking up together, or you could just be in a regular intimate, monogamous relationship with this person, but you realize that they're toxic, their behavior and their lifestyle is unhealthy, not only for them, but it's also having an influence on you. Are you willing to fight and get down and dirty if you have to? Because sometimes these people won't let you go easily. I rarely seen a toxic person meet with a healthy person, and the healthy person said, "Oh no, this is not worth it for me," and the toxic person said, "Okay, have a nice day." No. The toxic person do things that's toxic, like flatten your tires, throw rocks through your window, call your job, start posting crazy stuff on your Facebook page. They are willing to do what they can to make you regret leaving them if you decide to leave them at all. And even if all that stuff they start doing all that stuff to you, they still ask you to come back to them. "Oh, I didn't mean to key up your car. I just, it's the bipolar. I'm bipolar and I didn't take my bipolar medication. Please come back to me. I love you. I'm gonna do right. I'm gonna act right." And if you're stupid enough to fall for that, you deserve everything you get. But a lot of times you have to actually get down and dirtier to get these people out of your life. But the end result is peace, folks. The end result is peace. There's peace after all wars. There's peace after all battles. And if you don't have to go through war or battle or fight, then good for you. Many blessings. But my question still stands. Are you willing to do what it takes to get a divorce from your disease? And if that means eliminating family members and friends, if that includes moving out of your neighborhood, moving out of a home that you have been in for many, many years, if that means even moving to another country, if that means just totally removing yourself from a job that keeps you secure and keeps you financially stable. I mean, are you willing to do what it takes to divorce your disease? Are you? Because I'm going to tell you, it's not easy, and it's not a popular thing to do. When I got cured of cancer, I didn't get balloons, and I didn't get parties, and the phone calls didn't come in, and I didn't get prayer circles. I didn't get anything. I was ignored. It was like, okay, whatever. You cured yourself, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when I was first diagnosed with cancer, I got the prayer circles, the phone was ringing off the hook, people come and visit me. I got people to come bring me some dinner. I had people come over and tell me they love me. I mean, it was rewarded. It was the most beautiful thing ever. And now I see why people have no problem being ill, because you are nurtured, and because you don't have nurturing in your life on a daily basis, you have to get sick to get those things, and that's sad. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video because I'm about to go to another. I'm about to go to another level of this video. I don't want to go to. So that's the thing. let me conclude the video. The first thing I want you to do, beloved, is I want you to see if you are married to your disease. Really understand, what is it about? What dysfunction in your body are you identifying? Do you volunteer this information? Do you tell people you have hypothyroidism? Do you tell people that you have polycystic ovarian syndrome? Do you tell people you are bipolar? I got a funny story about that, but I'm going to save it for another video. About one of my cousins telling me she bipolar. She likes to tell people that so she can show out on you after she tells you. But, I told her my fist is a cure for bipolarism. And miraculously, her bipolar never acts up when she's around me. Anyway, when you tell people your illnesses or your diseases or this and the other, and do you identify with them? Do you call them my? Do you say, or do you give them names like Arthur? Arthritis, Arthur. You know what? If you want to name something, ladies, why don't you name your vagina? My thing is that I don't understand how men can get away with naming their penis, but we don't name our vaginas. We have such a disconnection to our reproductive organs. It's no wonder that we have more problems with them than men. Women have more reproductive issues than men. And do you want to know why? Because we don't have a love or a connection to that which makes us womb men. Men always touching their junk. Men are always touching their penis. Men are always they talk to it. They play with it in the mirror. I know, I see them. And the thing about it is that when we as women, and in our defense, let me defend us for a second, we don't see it because as women, we are internal. This is the reason why our organs are on the inside. Men are physical. That's why their genitals are on the outside. Okay? But even though we are internal, we know we got a vagina down there. And FYI, yes, my vagina has a name. Her name is Cookies. Okay? Hey, Cookies. How you doing? I love you. Oh, hey, girls. What's up? How y'all doing? I know y'all saying like, oh, the mic. I know y'all saying like, oh, there go Dr. Akilah, always touching her breast. Yes, I love me. I love my girls. I love my cookies. I love me. When you love me the way I love me, you will touch on yourself a lot too. Okay? So, hey, matter of fact, when was the last time y'all touched yourself? When was the last time you gave yourself a hug? When was the last time you said, oh, I love you, arms. I love you because you extend out to receive the blessings of the world. I love you, legs, because you walk into the future of health, prosperity, happiness, and wellness, and I'm missing something. Love. Oh, good Lord. You walk into the path of love. When was the last time you just touched yourself in awe? Do you understand what a wonderful machinery we are? Do you understand this? Okay, that's enough. But touch yourself more. Don't be afraid to touch your breasts. Don't be afraid to even, and I'm not talking about masturbation, but don't be afraid to come and take your hand and touch your pelvic area with love. Feel on yourself with love. Love you first before you try to get someone outside you to love you. If you don't love yourself to a high degree, how do you expect someone else to do so? Okay, done. I'm done. I promise you, I'm done. I got more videos coming. In addition to a video that's going to be promoting my new cookbook, recipe book. So look for that in the future. But let me just go ahead and stop now and just say, divorce your disease. But if you don't want to divorce it, stay married to it and just, deal with the relationship. as it comes, and the ups and downs that comes with being married to your illness or disease. This is Dr. Akilah. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I leave you as I approach you with the blessings of love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. Have a good one.